Welcome to this, and this will be my review of Dragon Gate USA's Freedom Gate Challenge pay-per-view. We'll see if this goes better than the last video I did, and if I've exercised the demons or not, so I don't have weird demon voice. I don't know how that happened, but actually I think I do, but anyways. Let's get started. This was, of course, the pay-per-view that was going to... was built around the Freedom Gate title, which would be the Dragon Gate USA title, the tournament to crown the first one, and you had some different things going with about every conceivable type of match I think you could think of going into this, so which was, I guess, good. You got a lot of guys on the show, and you got a lot of nice little spot fest matches, so it wasn't horrible or anything like that. So let us get started. First match we got was Gran Akuma, Johnny Gargano, I believe his name was. I don't think I've ever seen him before, actually. Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Lance Dorado, and Hallowicked. In a pretty fun little spot fest of a match. That went out there. You saw about every conceivable move you could think of. This match was, to put it bluntly, moves. Wasn't bad. Was a lot of fun. Wasn't much to it. Some people might absolutely love this match. Others will probably not like it as much, I'm sure. It's one of those weird kind of wacky things on how you feel about it. But it was what it was. And a lot of spots. A lot of good fun. I think it was a good way to start out the pay-per-view. I don't know if that's actually how the match started out. This isn't exactly how they start out the shows, so there's that. Next, we got BB Hulk versus Brian Kendrick, and one of only two singles matches in the tournament. BB Hulk goes out with Brian Kendrick. Not as good as a match as I would have hoped. It was kind of slow, kind of prodding. This was very, I would say, similar to the match that Brian Kendrick had with Amazing Red. I think he still has some WWE stuff that he needs to kick out if he's going to be good on the indies. Pretty good match. 3 stars I would give it. BB looked pretty good. No dancers. Don't like the no dancers. Kendrick then went out after the match. He lost. And we got a long-ass Kendrick promo, and at this point, I should point out that the audio for this pay-per-view was not good, and this hurt, even though the this whole scenario where Kendrick went off about him being, it made sense, but it went on far, far, far too long. Eventually, it wound up being a beatdown. It was just kind of there, and definitely not as good as, in my opinion, it probably should have been. It's just kind of wacky and crazy, and yeah, it didn't come off nearly as good as you would have hoped, I would say. It just felt very flat. It was kind of like, you included this on the pay-per-view, but the last pay-per-view we couldn't get the Danielson and Davey kind of, scenario play out. I mean, that kind of bothered me. Next, we got a 4-way with CIMA, Mike Quackenbush, Super Crazy, and Skayde. This was pretty good. This was supposed to be like a ode to Skayde, and it pretty much played out that way. Super Crazy is fat. Let me just point that out. Mike Quackenbush was Mike Quackenbush, CIMA was CIMA. It's another really good match. Not great, I didn't think, but it was pretty good. I thought they went out there, did a pretty good little match. The ending kind of came out of nowhere. I thought the ending on the Brian Kendrick and BB Hulk match kind of came out of nowhere as well. If there's one thing about this pay-per-view I would say, it was that the endings of some of these matches just seemed to just come out of nowhere. But it was all right. Pretty good stuff, I would say. So we got CIMA going over. Gran Akuma won the first match, by the way, so he went on. Then we got into the really, really good stuff on this show. We got Davey Richards versus YAMATO, which had a lot of hype going into it. I probably didn't like this as much as some people probably would have, as I felt like it started off a little too slow. But once it got going, it really got going. But wasn't as great as maybe some people thought it was. But still, wasn't bad. Not at all. And also, I don't think the right guy went over either. But YAMATO winning this, and so that gives us the finals of Gran Akuma, CIMA, BB Hulk, and YAMATO. But before that, we got Doi, Yoshino taking on Shingo and Dragon Kid. In my opinion, the match of the night, an awesome tag match. They went out there, hit lots of spots, was really fun, very inventive, very crisp, just great stuff. Just great match. These two matches, in my opinion, definitely worth checking the pay-per-view out for, definitely worth buying the pay-per-view for. I haven't seen the DVD, so I can't exactly say, about the DVD, but I would imagine that these two matches would more than be good enough to buy the DVD for. So there you go. Then we got the main event for the title: Gran, Akuma, CIMA, BB Hulk, and YAMATO. This was pretty good, not really good. I thought kind of the booking was kind of strange here. They got rid of CIMA first. Really wasn't big on that. I would have myself gotten rid of Akuma, and then you had BB Hulk and YAMATO. If BB Hulk was the one that was going to go over, who he did wind up winning, you would have been left with. I would have left it with CIMA, because I think CIMA is the bigger star, and would have even though you could make the argument that the Davey Richards Yamato match kind of made Yamato, but I didn't feel it watching the pay-per-view. Doesn't mean that that's what happened, but it may not have came through good, but I would have myself had CIMA and BB Hulk, and then even though they tried to tell a story, but I don't think it did a great job of doing that. And then BB Hulk won kind of out of nowhere, pinning Yamato, and that was it. And he's your first Dragon Gate USA champion. Overall, I thought it was a good pay-per-view, or a great pay-per-view. I didn't think it was. I still think it was probably the weakest of the pay-per-views, just as a whole, because of the audio issues and some other stuff. And it just, I don't know, just like I said, the Brian Kendrick kind of thing kind of took away from it, and the audio issues. I thought that they did some things better. They did some backstage stuff that looked better, but they also, we still got that same, promo for Dragon Gate with the super speeded up highlight reel, which I think looks cheesy. We got some backstage stuff that didn't look very good, in my opinion, and so that part, wrestling was good. I think everything else around it, probably not so good. But overall, still a good show. I would give it an 8.5, and would say go out and get it. It is definitely worth the money if you are able. So there is that, and I'd probably say, with the matches on there, probably the DVD is probably worth seeing too, though I haven't seen it. So anyways, with that, I am out. Have a good one, and later.